Hel- Well, hello. Thank you, producer Joe, for getting me on the air today. I am going to discuss one of my favorite topics, which is balance. Balance. That's all you ever hear. So, again, my name is Robin Da Vinci, and I'm a boomer, and I am on a boomer apology tour for the many things that the boomers forgot to do during the time they did all this fabulous stuff. Okay, so what we didn't do was teaching balance, and we always were sort of go for it and follow your passions and uh, do what you like and you can do it if you want and all those fabulous things. They were all wonderful. They were great to hear and they meant a lot and they still do. But what we didn't do, and I am apologizing for, is tell you how to balance all of that. We figured out late in life, probably, some of us earlier, that balance was one of the most important things. And we just didn't show you how while we were telling you to go for it. So we encouraged you to go to college and major in what you loved and follow your dreams and go on that trip and make your friends and don't get married till later and have your kids and give them what we couldn't give them or give them more than we did. We said all of these things. You need to do this. Is we had this idea in our heads that you needed to do what we did. But we were actually sort of explorers during the last 50 years. We weren't necessarily the perfect people to tell you how to make it all work because we were breaking new territory. We were breaking down barriers. We were trying to get stuff done. And in the end, we've made some mistakes. So today's apology is about not teaching all the generations that have come after us or even ourselves about balance. And so they say, oh, goodness, you need a balanced work life, right? What does that mean? We taught you to work really hard and put in 10, 12 hours a day and work over the weekends. And oh my gosh, can you really go on vacation? Can your job afford for you to be gone? You opened a small business. Can you possibly get away? And we said, work, work, work. Put money away in a 401k. Get your retirement. But we didn't tell you how to do any of it and come out on the other side happy, right? Because in work-life balance, which we are trying to get people to understand, there is a spot where you have to pick your personal life and you have to get done in the course of time, in the regular course of the day, the stuff you need to get done. And at the end of the day, you don't want to be scrambled because you didn't do either one well. And that's a big complaint that I hear from everybody my age and younger, and sometimes my age and older, where they say, well, you didn't actually teach us how to accomplish all that in 24 hours, still get a good night's sleep, still see our children, still see our friends, go to sporting events, have fun. Nobody showed us how to do all this, so we're flying by the seat of our pants. That is truly what this country is doing and what the world seems to be doing. Just flying around, without cause or purpose or balance. They also say when you go to the doctor, if you go to the doctor, and I encourage you to go to the doctor, and down the line, I'm going to help you make sure that happens, is they say, well, do you have a balanced diet? Do you have a work and life and exercise and food balance in your life? Oh, I'm giving you these meds, but it appears your organs are out of balance. You go get your car tuned up and they say, your tires need balancing, right? And we talk about all the time balancing the budget for the government. It's always like, oh, we brought in a balanced budget. Well, what the heck does that mean? Nobody actually knows what that means. And it's, as an accountant, I can tell you what it means, but right now it won't help you. But in life, I can tell you, what will help you. And I did it in our opening. See this? This is an old-fashioned check register. And what it does is it records all the things you do throughout the course of your day, week, and month, and it tracks your money. All right. Now, everybody laughs at me, and I mean everybody laughs at me because I have hand ledgers. Now, I could translate this onto an Excel spreadsheet or put it in one of these old-fashioned green things, and I could get the same results. So you don't need a ton of equipment to get your checkbook balanced. So as I went through everything that we need to balance, the one thing that keeps us out of balance emotionally, mentally, and physically is when we don't know what our money is doing. You have to admit, and millions of you need to just raise your hand, right hand, not left hand, or raise both hands, I don't care, and admit that you don't balance your checkbook. And people say, I don't even have a checkbook. I do everything with auto debit. I have this software, that software that tracks my expenses. I don't need to know that. I just look at the bank. I just go and pull up my bank balance. None of that is accurate. There is a real problem in this world with tracking your money. How much do you want to have peace of mind? That's the thing. If you want to throw caution to the wind and say you don't really care about peace of mind, okay, I don't think that's true, but I will accept that you've made a conscious decision to reject a balanced checkbook. But let me tell you the beauty of a balanced checkbook. You always know where you stand with your money. There are never any surprises. When you go to bed at night and wake up in the morning, you know the status of your money. Now that includes, did you get interest anywhere on a savings account? Did you have auto debits come out of your account during the night? Are you going to an ATM and just checking your balance and pulling out money and not accounting for everything that's coming? So we're going to go back to basics with Balance Your Checkbook. And you want to please take notes if you need to. What is coming up is that you need to get your high school children an account that they can keep track of, that you oversee. You definitely need to make your college children keep track of their money. Don't just send them random money. Make them keep track of it and send you a weekly Excel spreadsheet. There is not a child that goes to college that doesn't know how to use Excel, and that you need to put that on there. In fact, on my website, robindavinci.com, I have either posted or will post an Excel spreadsheet that you can download, and you can start entering your spending and your money. So what happens with a checking account? There is two things. There is a bank balance. That is your bank, your institution that you keep your money in. That is the bank balance. The bank balance is everything the bank knows about your account. Everything. And so it's likely that they at least are accurate with what you've been spending. Your book balance or checkbook balance is what you know has been done to it or will be coming up shortly. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to go online and get your bank balance. All right. Now, let's say your bank balance is $2,000, but you know that you sent out two checks, one for your mortgage and one for your car payment. And that might be old fashioned, but a lot of people still write checks because they don't want people to have the power to debit their checking account. So the bank hasn't seen those two checks yet. Does that make sense to you? I mean, the bank says, oh, I have $2,000. And you look and you say, yeah, but I sent two checks, one for the rent, which was $1,400, and one for my car payment, which was $355. So I don't really have $2,000 in my account. I have 2,000 minus 1,400 for my rent. So that means 600. And then I have 355 that I sent for my auto. So I really only have $245 in my checking account, right? You only have $245 not the 2,000 the bank says. Why? Because they don't know about those 2 checks you've written, and they haven't been presented to the bank yet for payment. So you've got 245 in your bank, really, in your checkbook. That's your real balance. And you go to the ATM and you say, oh, I have $2,000. I'm going to take $200 out. And you go, oh, I have $1,800. Well, in reality, you have $45. And I've seen this play over and over and over again for the 36 years I've been in business and for the more than 50 years I've been an accountant bookkeeper. I see it all the time. You do not know, the bank does not know what you've done with your money. The only things they know are the things that have been presented to them to pay. So they might also, you have this $2,000, you've sent out 2 checks totaling $1,755, and you have an auto debit coming out for insurance of $113. And and so you don't even account for that because you quickly went on the bank and you said, oh, it says I've got 2,000. No, you don't. You've got 245, then you went and took 200, so you have 45, and now your insurance is going to try and clear and it's going to bounce. That fundamentally is the problem with Americans and their checkbooks or their bank accounts. Let's even get out of the antiquated thing called a checkbook, because a lot of people now have everything debited: their mortgage, their rent, their utilities, their auto insurance, their car payment. And a lot of times you get a slightly better rate if you allow these different institutions to debit your account. But that doesn't mean that you don't have to have the money there to cover it. Now, I'm going to tell this story again. Sorry, I'm going to tell it again, but I tell it all the time. I'm in line at Disneyland with my son-in-law. My granddaughter and my daughter are off getting food, and we're going to go on the Matterhorn. And it's Girl Scout Day, and it was a trip. It was a lot of fun. And I'm behind 4 girls, young girls in their late teens, early 20s, all of them in Mickey Mouse gear, full Mickey Mouse gear, having a great time, until one of them looks at her phone and screams and says, my car payment is clearing and I took the money out to go to Disneyland and it's going to bounce. Oh my God. And they were all hysterical and calming each other down and patting each other on the back saying, it'll be okay. It'll be okay. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. And they went on with the ride. And I'm assuming they went on with their day at Disneyland when she bounced her car payment. That is not okay. And I'm going to add, if you are living in a place where you bounce payments and you have overdraft, I want to be clear with you. Overdraft is a loan and you have to pay it back. So while you're building up this overdraft, you owe the bank that money and that they're covering it. So I'm telling everybody that will hear me anywhere, listen, do not allow for overdraft. What that does is it makes you less responsible for your money. Now, I want grade schoolers to know this. I want high schoolers to know this. I want college kids to know this. I want young people who are moving out of the house for the first time. I want people who are getting a divorce and have never handled their money to know. I want married couples to do this and do it together. The best way to keep a balance in your life is to know where your money is. There are lots of important things that we need to do to keep balance. We need to eat right and exercise, all those things they've been telling you. There's no magic cure. There is no magic potion to getting to be 70 years old. I am nearly 70 and I have not found any magic formula for any of this. It just takes discipline. And if you say, I don't have time, we are going to discuss in the next video how to make time. But for now, we're going to talk about, are you balancing your checkbook? Now, you can either balance to the bank by taking what you know to be your balance and adding back all the stuff the bank doesn't know, and then you'll arrive where the bank is because there's going to be a gap. Or you balance your checkbook and you say, here's the bank balance, This is all the stuff they don't know, and this is how much I have. So under the scenario that I first said to you, you were in the hole. Now, you might be saying, oh, I'm going to balance that by the money from my paycheck will go in, or I'll move money from my savings. And, you wait till the last minute. And what happens? You incur a late fee. And guess what? Banks are not backing off on their late fee. And why? Because that is income to them, pure and simple. Late fees are banks' income. Late fees are mortgage lenders' income. Late fees are credit card companies' income. They don't give you this and allow you to be at their bank or have a credit card without getting something out of it. There's no such thing. There's no such thing. Their annual fees are income to them. All of this is income. And what it is, it's taking money away from you. So think about it. If you bounce 4 checks in a month or 4 auto debits, you get late fees and you have an overdraft, you're just sinking into the abyss. You're just going into this big hole, and you're not going to climb out without a lot of pain and suffering. And I am trying to get you to not do that. Please don't do that. So I encourage everybody who's watching this video, go online to your bank and get your bank balance. Call up if that's what you do and get your bank balance. Or go to your check register if you keep one and get your book balance. And then arrange for you to find out how much money you really have. So if you keep track like I do, you will always know what your checkbook balance is and how much money you have to pay bills and or to go out to dinner and or to buy your grandchild a gift and or to get your friend a little something for their birthday, okay? If you do it the old-fashioned way or on a spreadsheet or in Excel, whatever it takes, you will have that peace of mind. But if you're not doing anything like this, that's why you're not sleeping. That's why you're putting on weight. That's why you don't get exercise. You are troubled and in turmoil about this situation. So I am asking you to go on and get that bank balance right now. And look at the bank balance and check with, if you have a spouse, a partner, a business partner, and say, do we have anything outstanding? Is this a real balance? Because we have payroll coming, or we have mortgage coming, we have rent coming out, we have insurance coming out. Do we have enough money to cover everything until the next time we have a paycheck or an influx of income? And I'm telling you that all of you living on the edge, it's not healthy. It is not healthy to live on the edge. I can give you some tips. Some of the tips are, don't take cash out of your ATM unless you know your exact balance, not the bank, but what you have in the book. If indeed your bank and your checkbook are the same balance because you've been keeping track of it, you are a superhero. For the rest of you who want to become superheroes, who want to have time to actually enjoy life, you need to start doing that. And I'm willing to get a class going and a course going where we do that together, where we balance our checkbook every month. It should be done every week, and I do it every day. But you should be balancing and looking at and performing this checkbook ritual at least every week. You should be able to put into a concise list everything you've spent, any money you've got in, and how much your balance is. And it should be done by Friday. So if on the weekend you need $40 out of your ATM, you can grab it with a clear conscience and without having anxiety, right? And so I know, and my heart is broken, where everybody's living on the edge right now, or so many people are living on the edge right now. And I'm going to try and find a way to get us through this sort of maniacal, crazy time of lost job madness and health issues. But we have to focus on the small things that we can control and take care of. And one of the things that you can control and take care of is the amount of money you have. And in deep, dark, dreary times, you have to stop spending, and you have to allocate, and you have to budget. You have to say to yourself, okay, I'm only getting X amount of dollars. What is the most important? And then you have to budget for what is most important. And then you make a category that is, I need this. So most important, needs, and then third or fourth category is wants. What you want right now, you need to put aside, because we are not going to be able to do that. We need to concentrate on what is important and urgent and what you need. And that will include things for your children, things for your parents, whatever it is you're helping with, whatever your family situation is. Believe me, I can tell you, when I was young, money was a problem in my family. And by 9 years of age, I was babysitting for my sister. And by 10 and 11, I was babysitting in the neighborhood. And I was taking every darn 50 cents an hour I made and putting it somewhere for some reason. And I had money to pay my mom rent by the time I was a teenager. When I went to work right after school, I gave her money for the household. I helped my sister go through high school with money. I helped my brother out. We worked together to come up with a way for the family to survive. It was really urgent and important that we all kept track of what we were doing so our family could get through to the next month. So I don't come from a position of, oh, I've always had money, or what am I talking about? We never had money. I never had money. And then I found myself getting a divorce, and I really had no money. So I have a lot of experience with trying to make a few dollars go a long way and having to give up stuff to make it happen. And I know it's painful, and I wish we didn't have to go through this. And I wish health and safety for everybody. But going back to basics is something you need to do. Don't blow it off. Don't blow it off. I don't have time. I don't have time for this. I don't want to know. If I don't know, it's like not going to the doctor when something's really wrong and you say, well, you're afraid to go because you don't want to know. That's the same thing people do with their money. They don't keep track of it. It causes them anxiety and stress, but they really they don't want to know where they stand. They just don't want to know where they stand. And I know producer Joe is a fantastic guy, and I've been working with him for a long time. And he says he's changed the way he does things because he and I have interacted for a while, and we are doing the right thing. And so on purpose, I'm trying to help you. I mean, I wake up in the morning and going, how can I help today? How can I get some people through the BS that I lived with when I wasn't shown things, when I wasn't given those opportunities? I had to create it myself. And I went to work for a company as their associate bookkeeper, and I had so much inside information on how they were spending their money. And I would go to them as a very young person and say, are we going to be able to make this payroll and pay these bills? This is, we didn't get money in. And I thought, well, this translates to personal life too. If you don't have money in, you can't be spending it, right? So what is this all about? Balance. What does balance really mean? What does it really mean? It just means that every once in a while it gets uneven, but you find a way to bring it back. Okay, so you binge a weekend and you might drink too much or eat too much, and Monday morning you don't feel very well. And you say, I'm not going to do that again. And then during the week, as things become more hectic and things aren't falling into place, the weekend comes and your escape is to drink and go out or eat too much or bake cookies or, just spend some money or, go on the internet and buy something that, you can't afford. It's called a coping mechanism, but it's not a safe coping mechanism. In fact, I wrote a book and it's on Amazon.com. It's also on my website, but it's on Amazon.com. It's a Kindle version for only $7.63. I encourage all of you to go. I'm going to go over to my shelf and pick up the book. It's called The Common Sense Guidebook to Mastering Your Money. things that you weren't taught as a kid that you need to know. Now, if $7.63 will put you in a bad place, I'm telling you, don't buy the book. But if you can afford $7.63, please pick up this book. It's an easy read. It's got a quiz in it, and it just talks about your attitudes about money that are keeping you from being successful. We cannot have a country that cannot balance a checkbook. Every single person in this country should be able to track their money in a very simple way. Obviously I have software. I'm an accountant. I have my own business. I have software and I keep track of all of that. I record everything. I always know my balance. I've never filed bankruptcy in my life. I've always managed to, even in troubled times or economic downturns for my business, I've always managed to kind of pull it out. But I realized that I had a lot of crappy attitudes from my childhood of fear and don't talk about money and, oh my goodness, something's coming up that's scary, so let's run away from the problem. And we had to join together to kind of make it happen. But my mom really did a good job with it. We got through it pretty well, but it was a lot of sacrifice. I had friends in the neighborhood that had almost everything they wanted. They had 2 cars. They went on vacations. We did none of that. We had an old beat up car. We didn't go on vacation. It was a little crazy. So I know what it feels like to be young and without money. I know what it feels like to be divorced without money. I know what it feels like to have your business take a dive and you don't know how you're going to pay your payroll. I have been through those things. I am not a newbie to this. Trust me, I want to help. So balance, 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 balance. We want to balance our diet, balance our work and personal life, balance our tires, balance the budget, balance, balance, balance. But what we really need to do is balance our cash. You need to know where that cash is going. You need to know where your cash is coming from, and you need to have a balance and a strict way of keeping track of it so you don't end up with bounce checks, late fees. Do you know, I had someone a long time ago that must have accrued $400 or $500 in late fees a month. And I was taking over their books and saying, no, you can't do this anymore. That $400 or $500 can pay your groceries for the month. Why are you giving it to the bank? And then another person got an overdraft and the overdraft got very high. And they said, oh no, the bank covers it when I don't have it. They know I'm good for it. I said, no, they're not. They're not good for it. You're not good for it. They're charging you for overdrafting your account. So, number 1, stop taking cash out. Number 2, check on your late fees and your bank fees and your credit card late fees and your credit card percentages. All of those are eating up your cash. All of them are eating up your cash. And I can hear some people yelling at me going, well, what am I supposed to do? I don't have any money. Well, we have to talk further about that. If you really are in that bad a shape, my heart goes to you and I want to help. We got to figure this out. You have to communicate that you need help. You have to tell agencies that you need help. You have to let family and friends know that you need help. You have to at least express your anxiety and see if we can't come up with something. I would like to, Producer Joe, come up with some programs people can watch or come up with that will help them out during this time. But I have to tell you, keeping track of every penny you have will really, really help this. You cannot be running around without keeping track. I really want to get your feedback on this. I'd love you to like this video and subscribe. I have a lot going on at robindavinci.com. We post things all the time. I've done videos in the past that give you a lot of information about insurance and things like that. And I know sometimes YouTube is a hell of a lot of fun and has a lot of great stuff on it. And I'm going to make a recommendation. David Attenborough's Life on This Planet on documentary on Netflix. Watch that so you understand climate change and global warming. You will never be the same once you watch his documentary. David Attenborough, 93 years old and still fighting to save our planet. And here I am, almost 70, fighting to save your budgets and your time and energy. And so I'm going to work on it as long as I can. As long as I have a breath in me, I'm going to give back. I want to start a program teaching. I really want to bring this information, the basic information. I admire the people that say, oh, you can invest your 401k and this is what you should do with your stock and stuff. I applaud them. Good for them. But most of us don't have that stuff. I mean, I have a little bit of it, but not enough to be significant in that I've been working, for all these years. I'm sure I'm not in their category. So, I'm going back to basics and saying the majority of people in this country just need someone to care, someone to guide them, someone to help them. I'm that person and I want to be that person. So like the video, subscribe. I'm going to keep doing this. I'm going to keep bringing subjects to you. If I get enough people that want me to do a coaching thing on how to balance your checkbook and find your credit score, and I'm going to start doing that because it's really important, because there's some, I think, discriminatory things in credit scores that we need to combat. I think that the stock market is a bit of a scheme, and I'm wholeheartedly behind people investing, but be careful. I'm all about the basics. Robin is about basics, balance, and comfort and peace of mind. Because when you go to bed at night and you know precisely what's going on in your money life, it helps you do all the other things right. You don't eat as much from anxiety. You don't punish yourself with emotional spending. There's so many good things that happen when you take charge of this darn cash, right? You need to do it. And maybe you don't have a checkbook. Maybe you just have a bank and you just send out things and you do bill pay. That bill pay still has to be coordinated somewhere else. You still need to have a running total of what the hell you're doing. I know I'm so passionate about this. I'm funny. Anyway, please like the video. Please subscribe. I'm going to continue my passion about helping you with your money, and we'll learn together, because it's never too late to learn something new, and I believe in that. Thank you for watching, and I will be back.